Hello everyone, my name is Connie and this is Writing Grid. Today we will talk about the introduction to academic writing. When you hear academic writing, probably the first thing that comes into your mind is college or university. And it's totally understandable and justifiable because most of the academic writings are being done in the university. But the good thing about academic writing is that it does not end there. It is not limited to educational institutions alone. So this video is for you if you are an incoming college student. This is the perfect time to prepare and to familiarize yourself with the qualities of academic writing so that when it's your turn to write your papers, you will not have difficulty. This video is also for you if you are a candidate of master's and or PhD, especially for those who took a sabbatical, that gap between college and master's or between master's to PhD can make you a little bit rusty when you are out of practice. So this is a perfect refresher for you. And this video is also for you if you are planning to take IELTS exam. If you and your family are planning to settle abroad, probably for better job opportunities, or if you want to pursue higher education abroad, IELTS is one of the requirements, and this video can help you achieve just that. Even the corporate employees who want to improve their writing skills, probably for inter-office memo, for inter-office correspondence, or marketing materials, or simply you want to improve your communication between your company and the client, so this video is perfect for you. So what is academic writing? Academic writing is otherwise known as scholarly writing. There are two types of academic writers: the student academic writers and the professional academic writers. Wait, let me show you this. Okay. So for a student academic writer, the core purpose of writing is to pass the college assessment. So normally, of course, they have enrolled in college or university. They want to earn that diploma for future profession. So they will exhibit, or they have to exhibit their learning through academic paper. And because this is the only way they can prove that they have learned something from discussions, from lectures, from collaboration with other students, with readings, and all forms of academic activities. And that is their purpose, and their audience is very specific. It's their teacher, professor, instructor, or tutors. So it depends from college to college and university to university. They call it differently. Wait, let me insert the two others here for the purpose of those who are taking lecture. All right. All right. So that's it. So some universities call them teachers, professors, instructors, or tutors, depending on their level of proficiency also, and depending on the university culture, how they call them. But the concept is that the one who teaches students, then that's their audience, the student academic writers audience. So under professional academic writer, their sole purpose is for publication. They will publish either a journal article, or books. So normally they conduct a rigorous research, extensive research, and the result of that, they publish as an article, journal article, or portion of the book. And it is a continuous process because they have to continue creating knowledge. So they keep on conducting research because they have to update information from time to time. And who are their audience? Their audience are the student academic writers and the fellow experts in their field. For example, a psychologist have conducted a psychological research, and after that they have published a journal. So the fellow psychologist can refer to their publication if it is related to their ongoing research or study. And the psychology students can also refer to the publication of that psychologist. So that is how it goes. Otherwise, if it is part of the publication of book, then well, we all have access to the books. So that is the difference. But otherwise, all the practices of student academic writers and professional academic writers are the same. They have to follow a strict set of rules for writing academic essay or academic papers. So what are these rules? We will talk about that a little later. So what do you mean by this specific set of rules? Let's take an example to better understand or to better explain this with drivers. If a student driver and a professional driver, a student driver cannot drive on his own. When he's driving, he needs someone with a professional license sitting beside him when he's driving. Meanwhile, the professional driver can do it on his own. But the thing there is, whether he is a student driver or professional driver, they have to both follow the traffic rules. They have to stop on red light and go as it turns green. And they have to follow the lanes. We all know there are lanes for buses, for trucks, and for cars. So if both of them are driving cars, then they have to stick to that lane for the cars. So this same concept applies to academic writing. So whether you are a professional academic writers or student academic writers, both of them, all of them, they have to follow a strict set of rules. And the thing about academic writing is that it doesn't follow the latest trends. For example, we know that after the war, they given the name for all the generations. So far, we are having 4 generations, which is the baby boomers or boomers, Generation X, millennials, and Generation Z. So baby boomers, normally they're old school. So their language are a little bit more formal. Their language is different. Their communication was different. The same way with Generation X, although Generation X, there was a bit of technology compared to boomers, but their communication was slightly altered by some texting or different language were added. Meanwhile, the millennials were born during the peak of technological advancement. So their communication language are widely influenced by the technology or by the latest trends, the changes in lifestyle and everything. And actually, millennials are divided into two, the older millennials and the younger millennials. The younger millennials are most of them are like Generation Z. So what does this mean? Although these 4 generations, they have a distinct generational language, and each is different from the other. And because of this language evolution, because of this generational language change, it created a generational language gap between generations, because they're having different patterns of communicating. And why am I saying this? Because this is not happening in academic writing. Although, of course, right now we are no longer speaking that Shakespearean language, but academic writing has to follow like the the choice of words and the sentence construction, and it's part of the specific set of rules that they have to follow. So this set of rules, other people call them features of academic writing. Others are calling them elements of academic writing. But for this video, we are going to call it the qualities of academic writing. So let me read it once, and then I'll go one by one. Later, I will explain one by one. First is structured. Second is evidence-based. Third is critical or analytical. Wait, let us remove this one. Okay. Third is critical or analytical, and fourth is precise. Fifth is balance. Sixth is objective, and seventh is formal. Now, what do you mean by structured? So when you say structured, when you are preparing an academic paper, you have to have a specific series of or parts of the essay. Normally, you don't write essay with like the first thing that comes into your mind, you write it, and then whatever comes after that, then you will keep on writing. That's not how it goes. And when you're writing an academic paper, it has to be structured. It starts with introduction. So with introduction, as the word implies, it is you introduce your topic. You will include in the first paragraph or in the introduction probably 4 or 5 sentences, and at the end of it, the last sentence will be your thesis statement. So don't be rattled up with thesis statements. Some people are taking it such a big word to use thesis because it requires some extensive research, and it's quite scary sometimes. But no, thesis statement is simply, in layman's terms, how we say it is, that's my point, or that's what I'm talking about. That is how we talk about this thesis statement on a daily conversation. So thesis statement is the point or the argument that you want to prove your reader. It is your narrative. So following the introduction with thesis statement, it should be followed by body paragraph. So body paragraph, it depends on the length of your essay. It can be one paragraph, one body paragraph. It can be 2, 3, 4, or so you will have body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, body paragraph 3, and so on. For each body paragraph, it should start with topic sentence. So what is topic sentence? Topic sentence is the statement that introduced that body paragraph. So everything that you will write in that body paragraph is based on your topic statement. It should support topic statement. And all your topic statements, depending on the length, if you are having 4 body paragraphs, all the 4 topic sentences or topic statements should support your thesis statement. You should not go away. You should always have in mind that this is your thesis statement, And everything that you will write on all the body paragraphs should support the thesis statement. It's not you must not write something like on the body first body paragraph you will write about politics, second body paragraph you will write about religion, and third body paragraph you will write about economics, because these are three unconnected things. And if it doesn't support your thesis statement, then most probably will fail. So everything, if you are talking about religion, everything should be about religion. If you're talking about politics, you will, all the body paragraphs should talk about uh, politics, and so on. And the last part for an essay is the conclusion. The conclusion is like your summary. You will summarize the vital points that you have written on your body paragraphs, and you must not introduce new information in conclusion. It's just to summarize and to justify why your thesis statement is your thesis statement. If you have managed to justify your thesis statement, then you will put it in the conclusion. You can restate your thesis statement in conclusion also. So that's how the structured paper is. You can compare the structured academic writing with, let's say, an engineer building a house. An engineer building a house needs floor plan, so that when he gives instruction to, let's say, foreman or construction workers, he knows exactly where to put what. So he knows where to build the bedroom, the kitchen, the study room, and all the parts of the house, because everything is laid out. Everything is in the floor plan, because it's a structured plan. So the same concept applies to academic writing, only this in words. So next is evidence-based. Evidence-based is, from the term itself, evidence. All the arguments, all the concepts and ideas that you will present in your academic paper should be supported by an event, previous events, statistics, or studies. So this is where like journal comes in, or books come in. When you take parts and pieces of information from journals, from books, and other publications, then one thing important here in evidence based, you have to cite your sources in evidence based. So under this, you have to avoid, you have to prevent from using your personal experiences, and no assumptions in academic writing. No personal opinion, no emotions. Everything should be factual. It should be based on facts, based on evidence and studies, previous studies. Okay. So under critical, third is the critical or analytical. Since we already talked about the evidence, you have your information with you. You have done your research, you have all the information, and sometimes when we are researching, we are finding lots of resources or references. Some of the resources are favoring your argument, others are opposing it. So under critical or analytical, you have to weigh, based on all the information that you gathered, you have to weigh, you have to analyze, you have to be critical about it, highly critical, if you may. For example, there was a research conducted in the 1980s or 90s or 2000s. It was a peer-reviewed journal, so uh, it was an extensive research. It was valid, but from 1980s, 90s, or 2000s, so many things had happened already. Time passed. And maybe that, even if that research was valid at that time, maybe it's no longer valid in 2023. So you have to analyze it. Is it still valid in 2023, your reference? This is one of the reasons also why some professors, they are advising their students to get the reference not older than 5 years, because they want the recent one. They want the applicable one. They want the valid one. So when you gather all this information from research, you have to analyze it. You don't have to say yes to the first information that you see online or wherever. You just don't say yes to it. You have to challenge it, if you may. You have to analyze it. You have to criticize it. So next, fourth is precise. When you say precise, every industry have academic writers. So, and every industry have their respective technical terms. Say doctors are having technical terms, nurses have technical terms, engineers, and all other industries. They are having their industry related technical terms. So if you are preparing your academic paper, don't be scared to use technical terms that's exclusive to your profession. Why? Because as we discussed earlier, your audience is either your fellow experts from the same field or the student academic writers who are pursuing the same field as you are, if you are a professional academic writer. So don't be scared to use the industry related technical terms. But if you will use highly technical terms, you might want to explore on it, explain it further. This is also a good opportunity for you to showcase, if you are a student, to showcase to your professor that you really understand the subject matter. And if you will elaborate on the technical term that you use, then you will avoid confusion. So when that is how you write a precise academic paper. Use your industry standard or industry related technical terms. So fifth is balance. When you are writing a an academic paper, let's go back to critical or analytical and evidence based. You have to balance it. Meaning, I mentioned earlier, no personal opinion, no personal experiences, no assumptions, and you have to weigh all the information that you gathered. Okay. So you don't air your personal biases and avoid sensationalizing the topic. And when you say balance, it is based on the information you gathered, and no assumptions, no presumptions, no preconceived notions. So you have to you have to stick to your data, to your information. Okay. So next is being objective. When you say objective, this is where we are going back to the thesis statement. When you are objective, you have to concentrate or focus on your thesis statement, and you don't go far from it. All the information, all the discussions, all the ideas and arguments that you will present in your academic paper, it has to be based on your thesis statement. So people are natural storytellers, you know. Sometimes it's very tempting to tell your story, especially if you think that your experience or your story is somehow related to the topic that you are discussing in your academic paper. But this is the time that you have to avoid doing that, and you have to prevent yourself from doing that unless the professor had told you or asked you to give your opinion about a specific topic. Then you must not do it. There is no in academic writing, unless it was specified by the professor, then you must not use personal opinion or personal experiences. You have to stay objective, stay on track with the topic, with your thesis statement. Another thing here is that you have to avoid using first and second person words or statements. Instead, you have to use impersonal structures with no referential subject. And finally, formal. So what is formal? When we say formal structure, it means you are expected to use more complex sentences. So we are having different sentence structures, right? We are having simple, we are having complex, we are having compound and compound complex. So try to experiment, and normally you can express your arguments better if you will use more complex sentence structure. And when you use when you do so, when you use more complex sentence structure, we will discuss this in separate video. What are the complex structure? You must avoid also the contractions. So what are the contractions? Contractions are the shortcuts of shortcutting of words. Like for instance, when instead of saying in conversation, we always say don't, haven't, aren't, something like that. But in academic writing, in other forms of writing, it is also acceptable, but not in academic writing. In academic writing, you have to use the long form. You have to use do not, have not, are not, should not, and all the long forms. You must not omit that letter in exchange for that apostrophe. No contractions. And no use of informal or colloquial words. So, what are the informal or colloquial words? These are the conversational words. So, in other genre of writing, they are encouraging the writers to write as they speak, but not in academic writing. In academic writing, it is not allowed to use colloquial words. So let's say in conversational language, we use very important. It's very common. But in academic writing, instead of saying very, you can replace it with extremely, exceedingly, and or immensely. And instead of saying important, normally we don't say important. You say necessary or essential. So these are just samples of the colloquial words. But you can search for this. There is an available list online, that academic word list or AWL and academic collocation list. So that this list, you can make it a handy, and when you are writing your academic paper, it's very easy for you to refer to that list, that which is allowed and not allowed. So Where is it? Okay. So here, you can Google search it. This is, you can Google search that AWL or academic word list. And you can also Google academic collocation list for your reference. So I guess that's the end of our introduction to academic writing. If you find this video valuable, please like the video. And if you have some questions or reactions, please hit me with on the comment section, and I'll try to get back to you the soonest. And if you find this video, or you think that this video will help you in your academic writing journey, then please subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that when I upload another video related to this one, you will get notified. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.